Hey friends, TUXX here. For this particular video, I'm going to talk about the NW-A306 and what it's like with 2 months. Can you believe that? 2 months of ownership and using it for 2 months pretty solidly. And I have to say, I still love this player, but the honeymoon is over just a little bit. There's definitely a few pros and a few cons, if you will. And I'm going to answer some of the questions that have came to me in various emails and comments on some of my Sony NW-A306 videos, okay? So just without further ado, we're going to talk a lot about this, but let me just dive right into these Q&As for you. The last comment 7 hours ago today, Saturday, was someone just did mention that they thought their iPad touch was slow. Oh my gosh. But it's still not bad though. It still feels slow. There was an update. I think there's a few other questions about the update, and I may actually do another timed video, but it feels to me about the same amount of time booting. I'm not really quite sure what the update solved, but I'm sure it had its reasons for having update. But indeed, there was a Sony update. Today is the 15th of April when I'm filming this video. So if it probably came in the last day or two is when the update happened. I executed it last night, actually, although I might have had it before then. So anyway, that's the deal with that. Someone else said, great info. Thank you for that. Question, if listening to high-res files using the NW-A306 Bluetooth option headphones, is it still better than listening to ... Okay, so to answer that, I'll say that when I first got this, I was really leaning, and I still, every little micro fiber of me tells me I should be listening with corded headphones to high quality music. You know, that's a proper way of listening to, you know, HD music files. And I have various headphones I use that sound fantastic. You know, I have been using this a lot here. This is the 1005s, WX Sony's, and I love them a lot. They really do have a great sound, and there's separate videos I have on this. But when using these, I have to admit that the sound of this Sony headphones, the 5s, paired with this, it really sounds fantastic. And it even sounds fantastic via Bluetooth. And there is a couple options that you cannot get using corded headphones, okay? And I find that very interesting too. And I want to say one of them is the vinyl filter, and one of them I think is the AI upgrade, okay, the upscaling. But it's the type of thing where it surprises me that you can't get all the functions using corded, when that I would think would be the proper audiophile way of listening to, you know, your music. But these headphones, make no mistake, they sound awesome. They really do. You have to hear them. I'm sure the 4s sound excellent too, but what I have is the 5s, and they sound really great paired, Sony to Sony. You know, I also do use other earbuds. I use the Surf Fans in-ear monitors a lot, and that's a good, you know, $60 in-ear monitor for you that's not going to break the bank, but still sounds excellent with this particular player, okay? So good stuff. Another question moving down the list. Hi-Fi DAP don't play lossless bit perfect on streaming, okay? I guess what they're saying is if you're streaming, how does it sound, okay? And I've been using Tidal a lot. In fact, I have a whole nother video on Tidal that you can check out. And Tidal I do enjoy a lot. And I've also started using quite a bit of the Amazon, once again, the Amazon music service, including HD music from Amazon. Now, I'll have a whole separate video on that. And there's definitely some similarities, and there's some advantages to Amazon compared to Tidal. I hate to say that, but there is a few, but there's also some negatives too. So I'm going to cover that in a separate video. But as far as the quality of streaming versus listening to actual files, I tend to listen to actual files. It sounds better, okay? If you're listening to a master quality, you know, music file from Tidal, you know, via streaming, you know, and that's either Bluetooth or corded headphones, I don't think it's quite as good as listening to, you know, an actual file yourself, like you have a DSF file, you know, or some other super high-end. Like you can see from the screensaver here, this is like the highest end version of music file. This particular one here is All You Need Is Love, which I think is what the Beatles. So I have a lot of things on here that are not bands I typically listen to, just because they're ultra high files and I want to hear the clarity and compare. And I definitely respect the Beatles, and I have discovered the Beatles, a lot of weird little things. Again, as a non-big Beatles fan, I'm not. Quite honestly, I don't hate them, but I respect them, but I don't really know all their music all that well. And I found a lot of little surprises of things they've done in their songs that I've never noticed before, hearing some of their classic big hits. You know, when you listen to it on a high-end music file like this, you know, with a high-end player and high-end headphones, really it does bring out some extra things that I never ever heard before. It's kind of shocking to a certain degree. Oh, my screensaver just went off. Okay, let me go ahead and hit the power button here. I kind of wish it wouldn't go off. That is probably like one negative. And you can set different things. I'm going to do my basic code here. There we go. And it's going to go back to the player here in a second. There is a way you can turn off that code entry that will speed things along a little bit for you too. But anyway, to return to the Beatles topic, there's definitely some things you're going to hear, you know, on these high quality files you would not hear otherwise. Now, again, to really get the best quality experience, it really takes a combination of high quality music file, you know, the right player, and this player is definitely one of them, and a high-end pair of headphones, okay? And there's different levels to making that work, and there's some super high-end, ultra high-end headphones, you know, like, you know, $1,600 headphones and things like that, that maybe won't even sound as good as this, because basically the ohms, the resistance is higher, so it needs more power to actually push that music to you. So it'll seem a little more quiet without actually having like a headphone amplifier. And that's a whole nother topic down the road, but it's something which could make the difference listening to, like, you know, the highest end headphones with this. It's kind of like bottlenecking in computer terms. If you have like a super fast motherboard, but then your RAM is bad, or using a slow CPU, is it really performing that well? You know, it's to really get the most out of the music experience of this player. You want to have high-end music files, high-end player that you own, you know, the Sony NW-A306, and then high-end headphones too. That combination, you really need all three. If you have cheap headphones, but good music files and good player, you're not going to get the full experience. I think you get that. If you have any question about that, please let me know. But really, again, the player alone isn't going to solve the problem of getting the highest end experience. It's really all three of those things. High-end files, high-end player, high-end headphones, okay? All right. Continuing on. Okay, someone says they have two questions. One, does the battery life improve dramatically when the screensaver is switched off? Okay, I would say I've experimented with this a little bit, and for me, the answer honestly is no. However, the brightness is the issue. So this screensaver here with this bright white cassette will probably use more battery life than the one which is the black cassette, you know, using a different music file like that right there. Okay, so we switched to Phoenix, and this is still a high-end music file, but it's not quite as high as the previous one, so it has this other screensaver. And it's still a really incredible music file. Like, there's all sorts of amazing soundstage things I would not hear listening to it like this serious with, you know, my cell phone or something. You know, it's really great, honestly. But I love the fact this thing has, as I mentioned numerous times, I love these screensavers that help clue me in to the quality. Even though you could just say a number or something, that visual impact of that screensaver helps a lot. Now, you could totally turn this off, and if it's just black, I would think that would actually save a little bit of power. But again, I know some people complaining about power issues with previous models of the NW-A306, but at least for this one, honestly, I never really run out of power. I keep it charged at night. I plug it in, I charge it, and I use it during the day, and I really don't have any issues with it running out of power. Now, if I was flying from, you know, Key West, Florida to LA, that I'm probably doing later this year, then I might have an issue, you know, that would run out after the flight, you know, or something. But we'll find out. We'll cross that road when we get there. But so far, still really no problems with the battery. You know, it really does do good. If you have a problem where you're running out, I mean, there's a lot of things that basically take away from the battery. So besides the screensaver, of course, if you're streaming music, that uses a little bit more power. You know, if you're listening to music louder, that uses a little bit more power. If you're flipping between apps or downloading things, downloading apps or whatever, that uses more power. You know, so really, ideally, if power is a big concern to you, I would say screensaver off, and then go ahead and just listen to music, but don't do a lot of the other wireless things. Maybe even turn off the Wi-Fi and just listen to music, and make sure you're using, you know, the very like lowest quantity and number of apps on there. Maybe even delete a few apps to try and make sure they're not running in the background and running your battery down. Again, the more apps you have on here, the more juice it's going to use, because some of those apps do run in the background, okay? All right, continuing on here, let me flip to the next question. All right, someone said, for those who missed it, there's a firmware update, and they say it is to help solve the lack of low end. Now, I can honestly tell you that with these headphones, the 5s, okay, the Sony 5s, I have no problem with low end. Like, the bass sounds incredible. I mean, these headphones, the bass sounds great. The treble sounds great. They really sound fantastic. When I'm listening to a high quality file, you know, through this player with these headphones, even if it's wireless on Bluetooth, it still sounds totally incredible. And I would challenge you to listen to this player with and without wired headphones, these Sony headphones, or a 4, you know, the previous model, and see if you notice a difference, you know. But for me, right now, I'd say if I do use corded headphones, I do catch a few things that maybe I wouldn't catch otherwise. But then you do lose a few of the filters that are on here, some of the digital effects that help, you know, upscale the music and just make it sound even better. You lose some of those effects if you're actually using corded headphones. So I kind of feel like in some ways it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because, you know, if you use Bluetooth with proper headphones, proper file, proper music player, it's going to sound excellent, you know. And if you use proper headphones with a cord, or like my Surfans in-ear monitors with a cord, you know, you're going to get a little bit more sound from that end, but then you're going to lose a little bit of the filtering that works the magic of making the sound so incredible. Okay. You really have to hear this to understand, but there really is a lot of like cool technology built into this that was not in previous players I have had. It was not in, you know, iPads. It was not in, God forbid, Surface, which I did love Surface, by the way, when it came out. There's, you know, it's not in other players. So that is part of the reason for having this player, is you get these amazing high-end functions that previously were only in players that were, you know, $1,000 or more, you know. So kudos to Sony for including them in this $350 player. Okay. All right. To continue on. Someone said, good video. I have a question. Any idea to how to help keep the earbuds from launching music at a high volume? That's a really good question. I would say that this player does default to 50. So if anything, my problem, and if you have an answer for this, please let me know. But my biggest problem with this player would be that when you first power it on from being, you know, turned off or whatever, it wants to power volume to 50. And for me, that is really low. You know, honestly, even with these headphones, I listen to it between 100 and 120 maximum volume. And that does great. It sounds loud. It sounds great. You're going to have a good experience. Now, if you're using, you know, higher end headphones than this, like, and again, these are like, what, $500 headphones, $400 headphones. If you're using like $1,000 headphones or something, you might very well need more power to actually be able to get a good volume going. So it's one piece of the puzzle. And if you have a piece that's like $2,000 pair of headphones, not a $300 player, you know, then you're going to be bottlenecking it, or you don't have enough power to push the headphones. So you have to result to using a headphone amp. You know, it's that simple, but it can work and it can sound incredible, I'm sure. All right, continuing on. Someone else said, let's see, any idea how to keep headphones from launching music app at high volume? Okay, I guess that is the same one. Sorry about that. Continuing on, someone said, I have the Sony WH-XB910Ns with no premium streaming service, and I can get amazing audio experience from Spotify and free AAC. Okay, that's great. If you can, that'd be great. I would say with the right headphones and the right player, you can definitely get some amazing experiences. Again, I do have other players I use, like the Ritsu, like the Surfans, and they sound incredible, you know. In fact, I really need to do a video on the Surfans F35 versus the Surfans F20, or F35 versus this player, because Surfans F35 was this little release that had a lot of new tech in it, but there's definitely some downsides too, but it does have a good sound anyway. So there's plenty of ways of getting good sound, I'm sure. Continuing on. All right, let's see here. Someone said, let's see, new questions. Some of these are kind of repeats of other questions. I have a weird question. Please don't roast me for asking. Can Google Maps navigation work with this Walkman with a Wi-Fi connection? Okay, that's a good question, and I think the answer would be yes, it's possible. But the problem is that Google Wi-Fi, like the Google Maps, uses a cell phone, you know, receiver to triangulate where you're at. So I would think that it might be hard on this. I would almost have to try that. Maybe I'll try another video. If any of you know, put a comment down below. Can this unit use Google Maps as an app? Now, for me, I really try and load as few programs on here as possible because I want good battery life and I want to listen to music and I don't want to like bog this down with other weird apps or games or whatever, So I haven't tried that, but it's an interesting theory, and I'm sure there's probably some great reasons why you'd want to do that. But I do not know for sure. I would be likely to say it probably wouldn't work because this device does not have a cell phone chip in it, so it wouldn't really know where you're at. Okay, I know I have problems with the headphones here. These headphones have like different achievements for playing in different locations, and even then, with connecting to a cell phone, I have a bit of a problem with or the home Wi-Fi, with it not really doing the achievement because I'm not having a cell phone signal in here. Like if I connect this to my actual phone, then it works a little better as far as the achievements go, as far as the headphones knowing where I'm at. But when I connect this to this, it seems like it doesn't necessarily, power saver, it doesn't necessarily know like where the heck I am, like if I'm at home or if I'm at work or the gym or whatever. Okay, so anyway, that is the deal with that. All right, continuing on, a couple more questions here. Okay, bro, does it have both headphone and mic combo, 3.5 millimeter, plug it into my laptop, get headphones and mic? Okay, this is not, hopefully I'm answering this right. This does have a headphone jack, which is one great way of using it. You can see it kind of like right there. Okay, there's the 3.5. Okay, it doesn't have balance. It does have 3.5, but it doesn't really have a microphone. So that would be playing off of this. So you could easily plug this into here. Okay, so then this actually has like 8 microphones on the outside, and then voice mics for like inputting to cell phone calls or whatever. So a lot of microphone technology built into the headphones, and that could power conversations, if you will. But this alone does not actually have a microphone, as far as I know, for like recording voice. If you're at a con and you want to get like some voice audio off like a voice actor or something, I don't think this device alone can do that. If you know it can, please let me know down below in the comments how to do that, because I've not discovered that yet. I think there is no microphone in this device. Okay, next up, let's see here. TUXX reviews. For the price, you can get even better, good RGB. Oh, okay, no, never mind that one. All right, next one here. How is the FM? Does it display? Okay, so this does not have FM in it as far as I've discovered. I know that some previous Sony players did have an FM receiver built in, but this one does not. But quite frankly, I mean, at least for me, I don't really listen to FM at all. Like, I listen to Sirius satellite radio sometimes, but not really FM music. So for me, that really kind of like doesn't matter. But if you listen to FM, I guess it could be a problem, It's something which some people do like FM. If you listen to FM, let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious about that one, how many people actually listen to FM, or shoot me an email if you want. Okay, continuing on, just a couple more here. Let's see, someone mentioned they paired this with these headphones. It works great. I agree. It's awesome. Someone said, let's see here. Okay, my USB headset, my headset does not have a USB cord. How do I connect? Let's see here. So I guess if you have headphones, first off, that are USB only, okay, like gaming headsets, it may not work with this. You probably could get an adapter or something and plug a USB adapter into something that can plug into, but what you need is a 3.5 millimeter. Okay, it's that simple. This doesn't have a lot of other choices, either Bluetooth or 3.5, and for audio files, you probably want to use the 3.5. But again, with the right headphones, it can sound pretty damn good, okay, listening to it via wireless. And I'm shocked I'm saying that. I would not say that unless I meant it 100%. It really does sound amazing, and I'm just blown away and almost appalled at me saying that, but it's the truth, okay? And that is pretty much it for questions, guys. I have some other questions that involve other players. Someone talked about pairing it up with AKG, high ohm like headphones. Again, if you have high end headphones, it may not have the power to actually support pushing that, So that's something you want to consider. You probably need to have a headphone amp, And if you have any other questions, guys, I know there's more questions I haven't answered, but I want to keep this video a little bit short. Let me know in the comments below or shoot me a message, and I'll try and include it in a upcoming video. But I do really love this player a lot. Again, the sound quality is simply amazing. You have to hear it to appreciate it. It's that good. It really is, okay? And again, with these headphones, with the Sony headphones and the Sony player, it's just like such a perfect little match. It's really, really good. So love the fact you got Google Play Store. Love the fact you connect to Wi-Fi. There's just a lot to love with this player, okay? All right, friends, I hope you're having a good one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.